Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome, astrology friends and family. Welcome to August. Eclipse activity starts now, and also we are in the thick of Mercury retrograde shenanigans as my neighbor's mowing his lawn. Maybe I can edit this out later. Anyway, we're just going to go with it. Yeah, so we're dealing with a lot of planets in retrograde. The outer planets are in retrograde. We have Saturn, Pluto, Uranus will start to retrograde in September. Mercury will be retrograding August 4th, and we won't clear shadow period until somewhere near the mid of September. Also, we'll be getting into the Chiron retrograde soon as well, too. Okay, so let's try and have fun while we can. Leo season, the next few weeks are the time to really keep enjoying, especially with everything slowing down. Vacation when and where we can, time spent with children, having fun, theater, outdoor theater, concerts, putting yourself out there, leadership in the community. Don't be afraid to take those chances, put yourself out there. Put your work out there, your creativity. Now's the time with all this goodness in Leo. Love Leo season. I'm an Aquarius rising, so naturally I'm always, loving all things Leo. They're my other end of the spectrum there. Okay, let's get into the eclipses because you will start to be feeling some of this eclipse activity. Now the eclipse will happen in September. But as you may already be aware, the feelings and rumblings of eclipse activity can start happening about a month before, and then it usually kicks off a new 6-month cycle until you have the eclipse in the opposite sign. What we're going to be experiencing is kind of the fading out of the Aries Libra eclipses. The last Libra eclipse will be in September, and the last Aries eclipse will be next March 2025. So we still have, several months to work on those themes of that axis if things haven't been accomplished yet in those areas. We also have Chiron still in Aries as well. Okay, so on September 17th, 2024, we're going to have a full moon partial lunar eclipse in Pisces at, let me check, 25 degrees. And this will be affecting those born with Pisces or Virgo placements anywhere from 21 to 29 degrees and 0 to 1 degrees of the cardinal signs, which are Cancer, Capricorn, mom and dad, Aries the warrior, and Libra the lover. All right, the eclipse will start to highlight all the things that are Pisces, Virgo, prior to the nodes shifting into those signs by next spring. We will have the nodes of fate and one last set of eclipses wrapping up, like I mentioned, on the Aries, Libra axis for the next 6 months. Okay, so knowing that, this activity can be felt now, I just kind of wanted to talk about that, especially with everything, so many planets being retrograde. Yeah, okay, so in the Pisces area of our charts is where we are going to see some of this activity. After having so much Aries self-directed energy over the past year, pushing us to take initiative and propelling us forward in that Aries part of our sky, and also healing a wound since Chiron has been there. We could have started to be aware of that and started working on that in the past year or so. And like I said, if you haven't done so yet or initiated something of great importance to you yet, don't worry. There are still several months left of this Aries Libra story, especially with Chiron and then also, the nodes of fate and the eclipses happening there as well. So what does this mean? So we will now be taking in and further integrating, the healing process, especially with Pisces and Neptune coming into the picture, forcing us to kind of slow down and integrate those changes that have been coming in internally or externally, slowly or rapidly over the past year. Rahu, the North Node, can speed things up. If you started your own business, for example, that would be like a very self-initiated Aries type of thing. Now and in the next year and a half, you could be developing like a sacred space in your home or devoting a special space to work in that, you can paint and decorate, plants, Doesn't have to be just for business either. It could be a sacred space you use just as your own, like getaway, quiet time to meditate, rest, writing, creativity, listen to music, to I don't care if you just go there to daydream. It will be a really great thing to do. All right. And now, although with Saturn here in Pisces until 2026, he's structuring those dreams to help you make them come true. So, any kind of like blockages you feel that you may come up against with Saturn there in Pisces, it's only to slow you down to make sure that the things that you're putting into place are solid and stable and can withstand the test of time. That's what Saturn likes anyway. The other end of this axis is Virgo, and Virgo will help you. Virgo will help you organize yourself to make those Pisces creative dreams come true. You can pull your projects out of the ethers and put them onto paper, to film, to clay, to actual music, to whatever it is that is your creative inspiration or muse. Lunar eclipses also can be a very emotional time. They can trigger relationship endings or breakthroughs, and even good breakthroughs can be emotional. I feel at this time and over the next year and a half, we can really find our way through that Aries wound that we've had, or maybe we didn't even realize that we had it. For example, like maybe Chiron in Aries has been transiting through your second house of self-worth and your face and your earnings, your bank account, what you put into your mouth, and maybe you realize you didn't know that you had a bad habit relating to food, and it's kind of come up to be looked at over the past year or so. Maybe you have an allergy that you found out you had and you didn't know it based on what you were eating, and now you have this time to kind of start integrating those changes. Pisces is very healing, heal your body or whatever might have ailed you. So we could really maybe start to make progress in standing up for ourselves as well. Aries is a warrior. Is not afraid of standing up for himself, herself. We can also have been learning how to not be codependent, and maybe we're starting to make our own money instead of depending on another. Maybe we're healing long-standing relationship issues or issues about self-worth, your body, your identity. These types of healing changes can be very emotional and even in a good way. And if you haven't, like I mentioned, seen these changes yet, not to worry. We still have several months left with the nodes of fate, Chiron, and the eclipses here to help you quickly make changes for the better in the Aries Libra part of your sky. Kind of grand finale next March 2025. This Pisces eclipse is the first in the cycle, and it's possibly just highlighting or giving that first little nudge of awareness or discontent around emotions, spirituality, relationships, as full moons and lunar eclipses can relate to relationships, your home, your family, motherhood, mothering, as the moon rules Cancer. And anytime you have lunar eclipses, you always kind of look to the Cancer part of your sky and see how that area is being triggered at that time as well. Crisis can happen as we are made aware of imbalances in these areas as well. Some relationships can end for new ones to begin if there's been trouble in those areas. And on the other side, if there have been problems that are being brought to light at the time of this full moon, there may be a path forward to find some healing, and maybe you can grow and progress together if that is something that you're in a relationship and you would want to work on. There can also be fulfillment of creative projects or drama at the time of the full moon, especially with it being the first in this new eclipse cycle. You can also get sudden dreams, downloads, or inspirations about creative projects, music, acting, film, etc. How to help maybe marginalized people's issues with the ocean, or maybe you want to start a nonprofit or become part of a nonprofit that helps ocean animals or comes up with fishing net solutions or oil spills. And really interesting note on that, just to kind of show you how the stuff is already starting to come into play, is I went to go get my hair trimmed the other day, and what I found out was kind of cool is that they charge an extra $2, a $2 fee when you're getting your hair, cut colored, whatever. And what they do is they use the clippings from the salon to make these hair mats that then are used to soak up oil spills in the ocean. And they're really effective at it as well. They just kind of, and there's a video you can watch online where you can see that, there's the oil spill, which is horrible. And they put these like hair mats in and it just kind of sucks it up. So already we're going to start seeing these types of things come to the forefront, which I'm really excited about because who doesn't love the ocean, right? Know that if you do come up with or receive, inspiration downloads, that you should act on them not at the time of the full moon, but act on them as in like writing them down. Keep a pen or your tablet or whatever it is you use to write on at the ready starting now. Know that these will be divinely guided, divine downloads. I don't think there'll be anything coincidental about this. Also, with this being the Pisces Virgo axis, and Virgo rules health and organization and service, work, pets, we could have health challenges that might come up to the surface at this time to be healed, or we could have endings to jobs that no longer serve our well-being, with new paths being illuminated to more fulfilling work, or spiritual paths might come through. Maybe you find a need in your community and you decide, you know what, I'm done with administrative work and I want to create my own or nonprofit or become a founder of my own nonprofit and helping children in my community who suffer from, not having enough to eat or clothing or school supplies. And you can start a small movement there, and that would be a really beautiful thing to do. So just an idea. Okay. Also, what are some other things that can happen? This is also the other end, because we're talking about the 6th house and the 12th house axis. 6th house also represents small pets, and that's in the Virgo house. A pet can have issues or pass at this time if they've been struggling with health issues, but also a new one can come in. New fated pet, and fears and addictions can come up at this time as well. 12th house does represent addictions, and we can find ways to heal our mind, especially with Virgo at the opposite end. We can look for and find a great and destined healer at this time. The Virgo axis can also help you get organized and clean up that area of your life if you are suffering from addictions or bad health habits, and get yourself pulled together, especially if you were in your head too much, or also if you've been unable to pull your dreams, out of the ethers or from your Neptune haze, those ideas and dreams can get lost up there. And Virgo is really good at solidifying things and making it happen. Excuse me. Let's see. Sometimes Virgo does strive for perfection and it can hamper our creativity. So we'll be working on trying to strike that balance, right, of the creativity and the day-to-day work, and trying to balance the two. At this time, you can, and especially now, right in August, we can start meditating. Anything with like water therapy would be good. Prayer, if you pray, and it doesn't have to be religion, it could be whatever God you pray to. Epsom salts, you could clean up your auric field leading up to this full moon. I always suggest safest bet is nature, rest, sleep. I always try to aim for like 7 or 8 hours, and it's almost always a win, especially preparing for those jitters that you can start to get during eclipse activation periods. Having magnesium to root yourself down a little bit and to kind of root down and anchor your nervous system. Magnesium-rich foods like black beans and sweet potato and stuff like that. But always check with your doctor or your dietitian if you have any kind of health issues or if you're unsure if you can eat those types of things. You can also make, little simple changes to your diet, like more water, fresh fruits, chemical-free food, vegetables. Try to do like a no alcohol. I know that might be hard for some, in these last beautiful weeks of summer that we'll be having. It's hard at barbecue or hanging out at the beach with friends, but maybe you can make a mocktail, something like that. Start working on a creative project. That's another great way to use this energy. Jot down those major insights that can happen now. And this is also a really kind of interesting period where loved ones who have crossed over may start to appear or send messages to you in odd ways as the veil begins to thin. These are just some of the ideas that I'm giving you, and I will describe what the beginning of this new cycle means for each of you in all of the 12 signs, and I will also probably talk more in depth about it the closer we get to the eclipse and, as we proceed with this, the shifts of the nodes and everything else. So, yeah, all right, well, let's get started.
Hello, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. The Pisces eclipse at 27 degrees kicks off on September 17th and around the story of your second house and eighth house axis. These are money and transformation houses, sensual houses, land and family self-worth. The second represents what you eat, what you value, your bank accounts, and the eighth is shared resources, deep intimacy, death, rebirth, magic, and transformation, as well as where we hide our buried traumas and pain. Also, inheritance and loan, investments, if I didn't already mention that, taxes. You could, on a lighter note, after having so much energy with the nodes and Chiron in your third house of self-made wealth, be feeling better about your ability to earn on your own, healing a wound around feeling less codependent, as Aries is a self-initiating sign and Libra is on the other axis of relationships. Maybe you started a business, or you will, while the nodes still remain here in Aries and Libra until next March, and it will lead to a bigger bank account, an increase in your self-esteem and your self-worth, a lessening of codependent behaviors you may have had revealed at the time of the partial lunar eclipse in September, already possibly being felt now. Alternatively, you could start to be seeing these results already at the time of the full moon partial lunar eclipse. Maybe you will be getting work done on your teeth or your face over the next 1.5 to 2 years, increasing your self-esteem. And increasing your self-esteem naturally helps you earn, as the second house is a Taurus house originally, and rules like the mouth, face, throat. You could also be using your voice, speaking, podcasting, and to earn money as well. You could be investing in land and property in the fall in your Pisces second house as well. You could also maybe have the opportunity to buy up land, maybe with an immediate family member. The second house can also represent immediate family. And you could also realize and get rid of, especially with Saturn here, escapist behaviors like too much drinking now, too much eating of bad foods, overindulgence, and this could start to shape up over the next 1.5 years. I'll talk more about how these eclipses will affect you as we get closer to the series. On August 4th, Mercury will retrograde in Virgo until August 27th in your 8th house. The new moon falls in your partnership house of Leo, the 7th house, at 12 degrees, affecting you if you have Leo placements from 7 to 17 degrees, or Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising at those degrees as well. This moon makes a trine to Chiron in the North Node in your 3rd house, and sextiles Mars and Jupiter in your 5th house of children, luck, romance, joy, fun, sports, and lottery wins. All in all, this is a beautiful flow to you, especially with Mars and Jupiter trining you from the 5th house, a luck house. You could land a partnership contract or a contract within the next 6 months in partnership over something that you're creating in your 3rd Aries house of communication, a podcast series, a written project, an app, maybe a book or other creative business venture. Clever marketing ideas could crop up here, healing a wound around writing or using your voice or communicating in general. You could be moving with a partner or for a partner in love and healing a wound around your neighborhood or where you fit in, or finding a neighborhood that you love if no place has felt like home over the past several years. You could also fall in love with someone over the next year or so, and it becomes serious, moving from the 5th house of lighter, playful romance to the more serious, committed 7th house. And you could possibly meet this person online somehow as well. A fated child, or more than one child, like surprise, it's twins with Jupiter and Gemini here. Gemini is the sign of the twins, and it's currently in your 5th house, so there that is. You could also write more than one book as well. It's prolific house with Jupiter here and Gemini, and they're the sign of the duality, twins. And maybe you need to change homes anyway because you need to accommodate a growing family now. And possibly you're getting married, especially because let's not forget the 9th house of Libra And legal contracts is over there as well, trining you. And there's a bit of a grand trine going on with your first house, Jupiter and Mars in Gemini in your fifth, and the ninth house of Libra with the South Node. It could also be a past life partner as well. South Node can represent past lives. Alternatively, this could be new beginnings for a partner, and it's happening in the house of the other, seventh house of Leo. You could also have a lottery luck now, or just fun times ahead in action-oriented activities and sports, playful times with children, as Mars is here for the next few weeks. It's a great way to use up that energy until September 4th. Also, Mars is the planet of passion, and with Jupiter here inflating Mars' desire nature, you and a partner could be having an increase in intimate encounters, intimate activities. I think you get what I'm saying. On August 5th, Venus moves into Virgo until August 29th. Soon following will be the Sun when it enters Virgo on the 22nd, and Mercury is already here retrograding, but Mercury will go back into Leo. And, but anyway, okay, retrograding. It's retrograding until the 27th, lighting up your eighth house. This could be you and a significant other spending more time alone, with several seventh house planets moving up into that eighth house of the hidden and behind closed doors by late month. And especially on August 7th, there will be a Mercury-Venus conjunction at 3 degrees, lasting from August 5th to August 10th, coming exact on August 7th. For placements in Virgo or Aquarius, anywhere from 0 to 8 degrees could be affecting you the most. You and a partner could be retreating from the world, discussing esoteric or occult topics, taboo things, or exploring taboo things, especially with Venus here. And Mercury, who is in rulership in this house. Mercury rules Virgo and is in Virgo's home. You could be healing around intimacy matters via deep bonding with a partner at this time, or, maybe in therapy and having breakthroughs with a partner. If you're not partnered, you can also just be having talks with accountants about investments, finding ways to make more money, cutting necessary, corners or, expenses that you no longer need in the house of unearned income, like inheritance. You could get news of an inheritance as well. It doesn't have to be somebody who passed on. It could be a living relative who wants to tithe the money to you while they're living for tax reasons, or to avoid losing money for taxation. Either way, it looks pretty positive, even though it is in the eighth house. It could be good money news as well around stocks, returns, a return on your taxes that you already paid, or news that you received a sought-after loan. Just don't sign on the dotted line until September 12th, when Mercury has cleared its retrograde shadow. On August 19th, the full moon falls in your sign at 27 degrees, affecting late-born Aquarius from 22 degrees and up. There could be culminations around your body, where you live, what you do out in the world. Because Uranus is the ruler of you and rules this full moon, but makes a hard aspect to it from Taurus, your fourth house, as well as Pluto and Neptune are making hard aspects, could be a bit challenging or confusing news, or the need for a transformation around your identity. You could be feeling emotional about where you want to be physically or just in the world, or you could be feeling difficult or restrictive emotions or irritations coming from home or family. Instead of being able to take care of yourself, maybe you have to help a family member who is in need suddenly and going through a hard time. You could be trying to strike a balance between me and we, yourself and another, as a lot of this month's energy was focused on a partner in the partnership house. You can still put yourself first, but just realize the need to strike a balance between autonomy and dependence. On August 22nd, the Sun moves into Virgo in your eighth house to remain with Venus for a few more days, further highlighting, Venus will remain until the 29th. The Sun is here until the 22nd. Highlighting issues around difficult experiences, deep intimacy, trauma, shared resources. You could also be healing a hidden wound if you're not in partnership here, or a possible trauma and working with a mental health professional, but in a way that is healing. The next aspect is August 27th, and I like to look at this as the caterpillar to the butterfly effect. From Uranus and Taurus in the fourth house, trining up to Venus in the eighth in Virgo, can look like sudden healing via intimacy with a partner. The 4th is your ancestral roots, and the 8th is a shadow work house, preceding the higher, lighter mind of the 9th. And you could be working through deep emotional or ancestral issues and transforming pain or buried traumas or just unhealthy attachments. Can come up to be quickly, suddenly healed now and released. Shamans, healers, psychologists can be a part of this picture at this time, helping you with sudden breakthroughs in this area as well. Take care, Aquarius, and we'll see you in September.